This week, we revisit another classic sequel of the genre, but this time we're joined by a horror legend. Plus, we introduce a new segment to the podcast, the Tournament of Terror, this week on Horror and the Hater.
Welcome to our podcast. I'm Brett Hayes.
And I am Steven with a PH, and this is Horror and the Hater, the horror podcast where I get suckered into watching a bunch of horror movies because my best friend is great at guilt tripping me. Welcome into the show. How you doing, Brett?
I'm doing great. And that last bit, thank you. I do like to be acknowledged for my incredible talents. One of them being guilt tripping you into doing things that you don't want to do.
Yeah,
So thank you for
I'm
that.
I'm also an easy sell most of the time, so it's not
Right
hard to
on.
get me. But yeah, so what are we talking about today?
Look, we've got two exciting things to talk about today, but only one of them's an actual movie. The thing that we're going to
Ye-
tackle, Friday the 13th, Part 2. We did Friday the
Woo!
13th, the original, a couple weeks ago. But we wanted to go ahead because of the new show coming out, run him through the gauntlet of Friday the 13th. So, Friday the 13th Part 2 is directed by Steve Miner, who worked in various roles in the original and directed two movies in the franchise, Part 2 and Part 3. He's been a very successful director, doing various TV shows and movies. But my two standout movies that he directed, the first one is Big Bully. Have you seen Big Bully?
No.
It's got Tom Arnold and Rick Moranis. Very good movie. Kind of
Okay.
cheesy, but it's good. And then Halloween H2O, which we will cover at some point, even though Steven hates the Halloween franchise already.
Yeah, pretty much.
So the budget for this movie was $1.25 million. Steven, how much did this movie make?
1.25 million. Let's say with working off the hype of the last one, uh, let's say they pulled in 10 mil. Go double digits.
And if you would have doubled that, you'd have been okay. $21.7 million is
Dang.
what they grossed. And you know what? In this movie, the actor I want to give the biggest shout out to is Amy Steele as Jenny. She's our final girl. She's charming. She's flirty. She's smart. She's got some grit. And she actually lands some great hits on Jason. An improvement over Alice to me. Not that I was a hater of Alice. I liked Alice a lot. But as a final girl, she did it for me. The honorable mention I'm going to go with is actually John Fury as Paul Holt, which is Jenny's boyfriend in the movie. He's like the coordinator for the counselor and training camp. Um, he's got good dialogue. He does well with it. He tells the backstory really well at the campfire scene, and he makes all the difference in Jenny getting away at the end. So a very good character in my eyes. What
He also
say
has a great
you?
scene where he's telling off that cop. This is I'm gonna run my camp the way that I run my camp.
Make
So
sure
no,
they
he
don't get
does
a second desserts tonight.
exactly. But no, he does a great job. My honorable mention is actually going to go to Annie Steele as well for Jenny. I think she did a fantastic job. She's one of the most competent final girls that I think that we've
Absolutely.
had so far. Even if she is a bit of a heartless one, and we'll get to that.
Okay.
Um, so I got a little bit of beef with Jenny for how she handled some of the situations. But we will get to that. My notable actor is, you know what? Gonna go to Crazy Ralph. R.I.P. To that man. So
Crazy Ralph?
we're giving it to Crazy Ralph
Does he
this
have a
week.
speaking line in this movie?
He does. He tells them that they're all doomed.
Oh
You're
yeah,
all
a
doomed.
different speaking line. That's what I was trying to get to. Does he have different dialogue?
No, the man, he's a classic. You don't need to change a thing.
Hey,
But unfortunately, he does pass away
yeah,
tragically in this one.
tragic. Rest in peace.
Um, yeah, couldn't have seen it coming. He was getting too close to the truth,
Mm,
and they silenced him
he was the
poetically
truth.
with strangling him around the neck. Who's any more one of those
IMDb
poor
has that
kids?
a 6.1 out of 10, Rotten Tomatoes at 49%, and Letterboxd a 3 out of 5. 2 months after the revenge of Pamela Voorhees has ended, we pick back up with Alice, who's trying to bring back some sense of normalcy to her life. You know, you kind of hear her talking to her mom. Unfortunately, she finds out the hard way that there is another murderer with man hands. Is it another mother? Is it a secret brother? Somehow, they are connected to Camp Blood. You get to fast forward in time about 5 years, and we're back to meeting our soon to be camp counselors at Deer Counselor and Training Camp near Camp Crystal Lake. That was a lot of words that were the
A
same.
lot.
I guess on the other side of the lake is Camp Crystal Lake. Um, they share they share that lake, whatever. But something is wrong as a person wearing a potato sack with one eye hole cut out starts taking the people of the camp down. What did you see, Steven?
Oh boy, man. Well, the first thing that I saw in this movie was the longest pre-credit scene in history. Um, they really milked that opening. They did a 6-minute recap of the first movie,
Yeah,
which seemed a little bit excessive.
yeah, it was crazy.
It was like I think we got it. If you're here, you see the two on the poster. Like this, it's you're gonna have some catching up to do. So it was a little bit annoying having to just recap the entire first thing. But she's talking about how Jason is still out there, and she's arguing with her mom on the phone. She's coping with her trauma in the way that she best knows how. When all of a sudden she hears something,
Mm.
she grabs an ice pick out of the kitchen and creeps slowly towards the window to investigate. Don't worry, guys. It's just a kitten. It's all good. It's okay. Until she opens up the fridge for a midnight snack and there's a severed head sitting in the fridge.
Whose head's that?
I didn't get a good look at
Oh,
it.
okay, it is Pamela Voorhees.
It is Pamela Voorhees. All right, cool. She sees Pamela's head in the fridge when all of a sudden she's stabbed through the temple with an ice pick, and our final girl is the first kill of
Okay,
part two. How poetic.
yeah,
So anyway, we cut to the present day. I believe about 5 years later,
yeah.
this was so. A young couple in a truck pulls into town, hit up a payphone, trying to find the camp that they're supposed to be at. Crazy Ralph comes in and warns them once again that they are all doomed.
Mm.
When all of a sudden the teens notice that their truck is getting towed away. They chase after it, but it's just a wily prank by one of their fellow camp counselors. So, back on the
So,
road again, they head out towards the camp and get stopped by a random log that is on the road.
mhm.
Seems like it was almost placed there. They get out of the truck to move the log, and Sandra just for some reason walks off into the woods after saying, "This place is spooky." That was her first thing. She says, "This place is spooky," while not helping with the log, and then just wanders off into the woods. She finds a random sign for the old Camp Blood, and they start talking about the old legends, but it's clear that they are being watched. We get to the camp. We meet all of our other new camp counselors. We get a camp counselor in a wheelchair. You just know that's not going to work out really well. Can't run away, man. We get a great ass shot followed by a great shot to the ass with that slingshot. We get several
Did
other.
you did you catch her like grab the opposite butt cheek when when he shot her?
I
He shoots her on the right
honestly,
side, she grabs the left side.
I was distracted by other things and I missed that
Oh,
that
okay.
continuity error. So,
Okay.
but
Okay.
great camera work.
Continuity
We
be damned.
continuity be damned. I'll tell you right now, most of the male population didn't notice
Oh,
that
and
continuity error.
that's
So
my bad.
that is your bad. We go to our camp counselor training orientation thing. Our main girl Jenny shows up a little bit late to to the orientation, and we find out that Paul and Ginny are a little bit of a thing after he scolds her for being late a little bit. Paul goes over some of the general warnings about the camp, including about the bears that lurk in the forest. Gives all the ladies, tells them to not bleed too much during their period to attract the bears. We go to campfire time, and Paul is telling the story of the Jason murders and of Camp Blood.
Mm.
But they are the first campers and counselors to actually return after
Mhm.
5 years. We know that's definitely probably going to go well. And then at the end of the story, at the climax, Ted jumps out of the woods and scares everyone holding a spear with a scary mask on. Those items will come into play later in the film. A little bit of foreshadowing for you. Counselors hang out in the house. We see Ted place the spear gingerly right by the doorway, just just really setting it up for you know what it's going to be used for later. We kind of just get to know the counselors a little bit. Ginny decides that she's going to go to bed and then needs to check on a noise outside. It's luckily not Jason Voorhees. It's just Paul trying to fuck. So, but we all know that Jason hates it when people try to fuck. So we
Hates
see
it.
someone lurking outside, but it turns out it's just Crazy Ralph. Once again, trying to warn the people about the, he's definitely not there just like peering through the window at these young people trying to get his jollies off.
He's not a
No.
peeping Tom, right?
Nope, he
Okay.
is he is a rescuing Ralph. He is trying to
Oh my
rescue
God. All right.
these children from their fate. But unfortunately, he gets a wire wrapped around his neck and around a tree and is strangled by our killer Jason Voorhees. We cut to a morning run with the crew. They're running through the forest, and something eerily is still watching them. Uh, Unfortunately, Jason's next victim is Muffin the dog.
Mm.
Muffin wanders off into the woods and is found by our dastardly killer. Cut to a cookout. We get a glimpse of the chainsaw that, once
Mm.
again, will be important later in the show. Sandra somehow convinces Jeff to go over to Camp Blood and check it out. She's really interested to see all the spooky stuff that's over there. Jason, or Jeff, seeing as how she is wearing a bikini top, follows her immediately off over to Camp Blood, but they're followed by Jason.
Mm.
They literally cross a no trespassing sign, and they are found by maybe the only thing worse than a psychopathic killer,
What's that?
uh, an angry cop.
Ah.
So, the local town cop finds them and is really, really pissed that they are messing around at Camp Blood. He is like,
Mhm.
"Why do you kids not get it? Stay away from this accursed place."
Oh yeah.
So he takes them. He takes them back over to the camp uh, and gives them tries to give them a good scolding and warns Paul that this is not something that they need to be messing around with. There's real danger out there.
And
So
Paul
that,
takes action.
yes, he does. He takes away their second desserts.
God.
No second desserts tonight for those two miscreants out there. But the cop leaves, and on his way back through the forest, sees a random Sasquatch-looking creature running across the road.
From
He knows
your
exactly what to do. Yeah.
so like your opinion is that he may have seen Sasquatch.
No, I'm just trying to paint a mental picture for
Okay.
the audience.
Because
It was a large, blurry individual. It's
if
doing it's got the arms and
if you
it's
had,
just a profile.
there is another show that has been running for many a seasons that would like to talk to you.
Boy.
In Search of Sasquatch. They still have
Okay.
not found him. 5 seasons.
5 seasons and they're
Five
still
seasons.
hey, 6 seasons in a movie. Maybe they can at least get
I don't
Get
know if it's
there.
actually been 5 seasons, but I remember
I feel
seeing
like
it.
that show's been on for way longer than that.
I have no
It's
clue.
either been on forever or it was something that ran for 2.5 seasons and then was canceled after History Channel moved on to some new like alien thing. You never know. But anyway, our Sasquatch looking blur of a creature runs across the road in front of the cop, and the cop gets out of his car and takes chase into the woods. He, we also have like a really long chase scene through the woods. It seems like they could have cut out a couple of those, but they just keep cutting back, and then this cop is just heavily breathing as he's running through the woods,
I
looking
don't
around.
I don't remember how
Pretend we're gonna
long
splash in a puddle.
I don't remember how long the movie is, but the credits are really long. There's a really long opening scene with Alice. There's other lingering scenes, and I
Here's
don't
the thing.
think we make it to an hour and a half.
You get yeah, it's like an hour 26, I think, if you include all
Oh,
the credits, opening and closing. You have a 12-minute opening scene, and then you have all of the credits, and then you also get like this. It was like a minute and a half long chase scene through the woods, where I'm pretty sure if I go back and rewatch it again, which I won't willingly, I will probably find like scenes that they just reused where it's like that Monty Python thing where the dude's just running from the
where he
forest
keeps. I
towards
don't
you
know.
and it's just
I don't know
and they're
that they.
just running the same scene over and over again.
I don't know that they reused the scenes, but they definitely reused locations because I remember him coming through, and I was like, "Wait a minute."
He splashed in that puddle before,
No,
but
that
maybe
was
they were
that was
trying to make it
Jason
seem
that
like he
splashed
was
the
just
puddle. But
running in circles.
yeah.
But anyway, he, after a long chase scene through the woods, comes upon a patchwork cabin
Hmm.
that is the home of our killer Jason.
Allegedly.
So he then proceeds to investigate this cabin without drawing his sidearm.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't even think about it. He's just like, hello, who's in here? Just starts like looking around. He's like, what's going on in here? And then he hears like something bang really, really loudly, and then reaches for his gun, and then doesn't see anything, and then just leaves it alone. It's like, yeah, no, keep that thing holstered. Keep that little clip on it. Yeah, we're not gonna need that thing.
Mm-mm.
He then gets the south side of a claw hammer to the skull once Jason finds him trespassing in his home, which I believe under the stand your ground laws of this state was actually the only legal kill of the
Of Jason
movie.
Voorhees.
So you
Okay.
can get him for the counselors. I don't think you can actually get him for the cop.
I think you
I
can though because the cops backs to him.
cop didn't have a warrant. Um, and
Yeah,
also the cop was armed, so technically it's an armed intruder in your domicile
that's
without a
true.
warrant. You don't know what he's there. You don't know if he's impersonating a cop. He hasn't presented any kind of warrant. He hasn't followed proto, not one bit. I think I think with the right attorney, he could probably get out of that one.
Case
Other
closed.
ones, they're gonna be tough. It's really, really gonna be tough with some of these other ones. We're
Okay,
fighting an
okay.
uphill battle.
All right.
But we might be able to get some of this knocked off with time served. Um, we go back to our camp counselors. Some of them have decided, you know what, we're gonna go out for a night in the town. We're gonna hit this nightclub slash bar slash casino
Oh yeah.
over here in town and have a good old time. So some of the counselors they're headed out, and some of the counselors they're gonna stay in for the night. They're not feeling like going out and partying. Our slutty chick Terry, she goes off for a walk and decides to go skinny dipping.
See, I think that's unfair. I actually think that Mary was the nicest one. She didn't want anything to do with any of those dudes. She wasn't slutty. She thought she was by herself. She's like, I'm gonna go skinny dipping right now by myself. Hopefully, no perverts come by.
Okay, okay. All right, I don't
Yeah.
want to do the what was she wearing thing, but
Oh
she
no,
does have those shorts
no.
hiked all of the way inside of her ass
It's
and
the
is wearing a shirt that she has clearly cut off. This didn't come from Macy's like this, all right? She clearly took a pair of scissors and cut it just below
it's
the
the
boob line.
80s.
And it looks like she's iced up those nips. All right.
All right.
I'm just saying, yes, it is the 80s, but
How dare you, sir?
she's
How dare you?
here's the thing. She
How
looks
dare
like the
you?
market's open for business, okay?
It's not
You
though.
can
She makes it
take a
clear
gander
too.
at the merchandise.
She
Not
makes
well,
it
at least
clear.
well, yeah, she doesn't want to go out with Scott. Like he's kind of
Sc-
an asshole.
Yeah,
But
Scott sucks.
there might be some other guys over there that are who knows what the summer has in store
I think if she was
for
the
our
girl
lady
you said
Terry.
she was, she'd have gone out in town.
I mean, who knows? Maybe she was
Exhibit
just feeling a
B.
little bit moody.
Okay.
I
All
don't
right,
know.
continue.
Anyway, Terry decides to go skinny dipping. Uh, and then also we cut back and forth between all the counselors and things at this point. We see that surprise, surprise, the guy in the wheelchair has some good upper body strength and is good at arm wrestling. And then also some of these camp counselor chicks are not so subtle about wanting to get it on. So all of the counselors kind of start to couple up, and wheelchair guy is left down there with his lady who is has kind of shown an interest in him. But then we flash back to Terry, and she's taking a nice dip in the cool lake. She comes back, and suddenly her clothes are all gone. Turns out it was just Scott.
Damn it, Scott.
He's goofing. Scott, oh man, you wily little son of a gun.
You piece of shit.
So Scott, in his prankster ways, gets caught up in a very large snare that looks like it was almost built for a human, or large moose, or perhaps a bear could even hold this.
Yeah.
Scott is ensnared and caught in this thing. Terry goes to get a knife to cut him down, but unfortunately, Jason's knife gets to Scott first, and he is let out like a stuck pig.
Jesus.
We flash back to our counselors at the bar, and they're talking about Jason. Jenny is wondering what all has happened. She's confused about all the stories. She's thinking there's got to be something out there.
Maybe
And the other
Jason really
guys,
is like he's not a legend. Maybe he did survive the drowning.
maybe he did survive. Other counselors kind of think she's crazy, but nah. We flash back to our other counselors there at the house. Mark, our counselor in the wheelchair, thinks that he can beat paralysis.
I mean, it does happen. Lots of physical therapy. Uh, where there's a will, there's a way.
Where there's a will, there's a way. It seems like he's pretty paralyzed, though. It doesn't seem like there's just like, oh, he's
Okay,
not kind of like
there's
moving around. It's just like,
do your research. It does happen. It's a miracle, but it happens.
okay, just seems like somebody. It it would seem like somebody coming in and just being like, look, here's the thing. I know that I've lost my vision after this horrible, horrible accident where my eyes were permanently damaged. But you know what? I think I'm gonna beat blindness. I think I'm gonna do it.
Well,
I don't
there
think you
are eye transplants now, so you can beat blindness
okay.
sometimes.
You know what? Not back then. I don't think you could
You know
I
what?
don't think you could do that.
You're you're not. I
A
think he's an
hater.
ableist. No, he's an ableist. I was gonna say hater, and I was like, it's way worse to call you an ableist. So there we go.
No, here's the thing. Apparently some stuff works. So
It's true.
he was like, it's not. Yeah, man, but I don't think you're going to beat paralysis. I think you should really
Okay,
just kind of set some more realistic goals.
that's like your
So,
opinion, man.
my opinion, man. So the counselors start coupling up. Sandra and Jeff, they go to get it on, and Mark and Vicky, they get together. Vicky goes out to get some things from her cabin and freshen up. Changes into some sexy underwear that looks suspiciously like granny panties of
Yeah,
today's world.
it wasn't good. When she like picked it up and was like, "Yeah," I was like,
It was like,
"Eh,
oh yeah, these
you
are the
should just put the other
ones.
ones back on."
We were like,
Honestly,
is it laundry day? It's like, just how
eh,
about you wear nothing? That would be
that's
better than
fine.
whatever you're doing right there.
He's waiting on
But
you.
they were also just like they were brown. They were like a weird
It's a weird
brown.
color. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get like that was more in style back then,
I don't
whatever. But
know. Yeah.
anyway, she changes into some sexy underwear, gives her badge a little spritz with the perfume, and she's ready to go. That's also another thing that I'm like, I think that's a bad strategy because have you ever tasted perfume? It's not the best. So maybe yeah, maybe go a different direction. At the state fair every year they sell this stuff called panny cakes, and it is
What?
exactly what you think it is.
Okay.
Um, yeah, essential oils for your downstairs. It's I get a kick out of it every time I walk by the booth. It's
You should grab some
so
this
fun.
year.
I might just yeah, might pick some up for in case of
Okay,
emergency.
got it.
So she changes into her sexy underwear. The storm rolls in, and Matt rolls out to the porch to start looking for her. Matt then gets a machete to the face
Mm.
and rolls down the stairs and down the hill and off into the night, never to be seen again. Jason then enters the house looking for more horny teens to enact his retribution on. Grabs the spear from earlier with our campfire prank,
Hmm.
and then Jason proceeds to shish kebab Jeff and Sandra as they lay in their lover's embrace. And yeah, that was one of my issues with the movie was I don't feel like we got to see enough of the deaths.
It
Like
was,
the deaths were
yeah.
just really they felt really muted. It felt like they gave us a whole it was like, "Hey, guess what? Now there's not just like four camp counselors or six, there's like a dozen. So you're going to get
So,
so many more kills and you
right.
get so many more kills, but you get to see like 2% of them in
Well,
a
so
satisfying
they
way."
they brought in all those counselors, and then I think what they really only go through like 8 or 9 people because half of them leave. Like all the cannon fodder that you think is going to be like this
Yeah.
bloodbath, which it still is a bloodbath, but it's not to the same extent that I thought it was going to be. But I will say I really liked the machete to the face, wheelchair
Machete to the
back
face was a good one.
backwards down the stairs. That's my favorite of the two movies that we've watched so far. So I think they delivered one really cool kill, one great like creative kill,
Yeah. The
and then
spear they really
nothing.
found it in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
They
yeah.
really found it in.
Even
It's like I
Ralph, like,
Ralph, I mean, that one
mm,
was like you at least get something with it, and
it's
it's like
different.
okay, maybe he's trying to be quiet,
Yeah.
I get it. But yeah, you get I think the claw hammer was a fun one at least, but like it was real
Mm,
quick. And
yeah.
then yeah, he's got like eight bodies, and you really only get a satisfying kill on maybe two of them.
Yeah.
It's a little bit
No, for real.
it's a little bit.
Yeah.
What are we spending this budget on? Okay,
All
working with a
right.
million plus dollars. What are we spending this budget on? I don't know, but we get them. We get the lower shish kebab. Vicky comes back in looking for Mark, and she finds Jason in the bed with Sandra. He slashes her leg and then stabs her. Once again, off camera, where we don't get to see any of the fun stuff.
I think
That's why we're watching this movie, right?
they did a
You get a slash to the
couple.
leg. That's what you
Yeah,
get with
they did a
Vicky.
couple off-camera kills in the first one though too.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I understand the place for an off-camera kill, but at this point, we're in the heat of this
Yeah.
slasher film.
Yeah.
This should be prime killing time
I get
as
it.
far
I'm with you.
as
Yeah.
I'm concerned. So Vicky's dead. Paul and Jenny they get back and find the bloody bed with all of the counselors missing. Jason then attacks Paul and Jenny, does nothing to help him.
I Oh my
Nothing to help
goodness.
him. This was my beef with Jenny. She's literally standing there. She's like, somebody is in the house with us. And then she sees Jason pop up and she screams, "Oh my God, Paul, watch out. Jason's over. Let's just kill him." And then Jason proceeds to tackle Paul. And then Jenny's over there just like, what's,
Yes.
hey, how you doing? You doing good, Paul? You good, Paul? And then Jason pops up and she runs away. And then she starts thinking, now that her life is on the line, she starts thinking with her brain, hey, how can we gather some weapons? How can we build some fortifications? I don't know. How about you grab something and hit the guy that is like, apparently you love this guy or you like this guy. You have some kind of feelings for towards him that are beyond platonic, and
Sure.
you're just gonna watch him get murdered? What's
Yeah. You're a little selfish.
little bit
Self-preservation.
selfish?
Yeah.
I mean, also, but like in even in self-preservation, it's like in that situation, if you're not going to help your friend, you're probably running out of there. You're not like sitting
Right.
there with some popcorn just watching the
Well,
show.
moral support. I think that boils down to moral support. Yeah.
It's moral support. Okay, all right.
Yes.
Jenny is here for all of the moral support. Um, so Jenny, so Paul, I assume gets murdered.
Okay.
Uh, So yeah, she was late to orientation and she was late to saving Paul's life. But Jason chases Jenny through the house. Jenny finds Crazy Ralph's body. She gets in the car and is trying to leave, but the car won't start. Jason then pops up at the window like a little whack-a-mole and then pops back down and disappears. And then all of a sudden a pitchfork comes through the convertible roof of the car, starts to tear it up. Somehow, Jason is thrown off of the top of this car.
Yeah.
I was not really understanding the physics of how this worked, but it seemed like Jenny just got out of the car and then Jason, maybe he's not good at jumping. Maybe he's really good at killing people, but he just really doesn't have a whole lot of
I think
athleticism in the
it's like
jumping
the
department.
balance thing, like you're trying to turn real quick to grab the person, and he's got the pitchfork through the roof, and made one too
Yeah,
many
I mean,
moves
he
at a time.
just just kind of gets away from you sometimes. I can understand it. But anyway, she flees into the woods, as we know. Jason's favorite place in the world. She kicks him in the nuts and keeps running. He chases her with this pitchfork. She's able to hide. There's a little bit of back and forth, and then she finds the chainsaw, also from earlier in the film, if you remember, conveniently placed in the closet that she had placed it in earlier. Defends herself with a chainsaw, is able to get away. She
Hits him with a
continues to run through
chair,
the woods. Yeah,
chainsaw and
she
chair.
just full
Fucks
full
him up.
WrestleMania.
Yeah,
Yeah, just really going after him. She continues to run off into the woods and finds herself also at Jason's little shanty cabin that he has built. She runs in thinking that, hey, maybe it's not the house of this killer. Maybe it's somebody that can help me. Runs in to find an altar surrounded by the corpses of all of her friends and many that she didn't even know. And in the center of the altar, we see the head of Jason's mother,
that's
Pamela
right.
Voorhees. All of a sudden, Jason arrives at the cabin, pitchfork in hand now. He's gotten a
Mm,
new weapon, and he is about to mess this woman up when all of a sudden Jenny has the idea to pretend to be his mom and try to
yes,
talk him down off a ledge.
yes,
Actually, kind of works a little bit.
yeah.
So she puts on the sweater, starts talking to him all sweet, gets him to come over and tries to get him in a situation where she can take him out. But all of a sudden, he leans over and sees, wait a second. Mom's head is over there, so she can't be the one that's right here. Boom. Snaps out of the trance, and he goes for the kill. But then all of a sudden, who shows up? Paul? He's not dead.
Hell yeah. Get him, Paul.
So somehow Paul was able to regain consciousness and find his way to this other remote cabin in the woods and save the day just in time. So shows up to fight Jason, gets Jenny gets Jason just right in the shoulder with the machete and drops him. They pull off his mask. We don't get to see his face yet. And then they leave. Paul carries her back. They open the door to find Muffin at the cabin. Oh my gosh. Jason is not the heartless man that we thought he was. Uh, he's actually got a little soft spot for the puppy. But he still wants to murder them. So he comes crashing through the window. No potato sack over the head. You can really see in this scene why he chose to wear the potato sack
Yeah.
and why adopts the hockey mask aesthetic in later films. He's not what we would call a looker.
Mm.
Uh, he's all messed up. Like just
Okay.
it's all messed up. So he jumps through the window, grabs Jenny, and then Jenny wakes up on a gurney and is taken away in an ambulance. So we end on Jason's mom's head sitting on the altar as we are left to ponder what has become of our ghost face killer.
Yeah, so that last sequence, is a dream. Um,
Right. Yeah.
Obviously, we don't know what happens to Paul. She wakes up, she's calling for Paul. In my mind, it's that he's the one who gets the cops because the phones don't work at the camp. Unless the other camp counselors came back, which I want to say, do we see Ted at the end?
I don't think so. I don't think we
Yeah,
see any of the other counselors.
so I want either the counselors came back or maybe Paul saw them in the road or something, but to me, Paul's not dead. Spoiler alert for part three for you. They do talk
Okay.
about finding eight bodies, um, which without Paul is eight
We had
bodies.
okay, yeah, because we had Cop, Ralph, we had Matt and Vicky, we had Sandra, Jeff, and then
Scott, Tara,
Terry and Scott. Yeah. Okay.
right?
So yeah, that's eight.
So I mean, and yeah,
Was
another.
does that mean the muffin is still dead?
So you see Muffin's dead
No,
early in the
no,
film.
we see
Yeah,
muffins.
yeah. So
We know the muffin is dead
who
early in the film.
also another point for uh is it Terry or Tara?
Yeah.
Terry, that's her dog. She
Yeah.
loses him like super early. She's had a rough go of it. She's getting hit by
Yeah.
rocks, her dog gets killed. She's swimming, a pervert comes along and steals her clothes, and then she gets fucking off screen killed by Jason.
Once again, another one. Another off-screen kill. Just can't
But
get to
yeah,
say anything.
look, I like the characters more in this one. I even like
Yeah.
the opening with Alice. It's kind of it feels like a waste having our heroine of the first movie die first, but I mean, I thought it was a good way to bring back the threat and maybe explain the not really the timeline, but why somebody might be after him. We get a little bit more backstory on Jason, which is nice. The whole reason that she went on the Revenge World tour is because she thought he drowned. So they do a good job with the exposition dump by doing it by the fire at night at the campfire setting. Um, where the story goes works for me. The final girl, Jenny, like I said earlier when I talked about notable actors, is she fights back, she uses her
Yeah.
head, and she ultimately survives the chaos. So Paul, like we talked about earlier, Paul doesn't really get any coverage about whether he does die or not. But look, my least favorite person in this movie, Scott the Perv. So,
Scott the Perp.
least favorite person in the two Friday movies we've seen so far. So, and of just the two movies we've seen, like I said earlier, I think that Wheelchair Death is the best of the franchise to this point. Um, did you think the kills were better in this one? I think we kind of talked about it. You said maybe not at all. Did you
I
agree with
mean,
me
here's
on
the
the
thing.
wheelchair one, or what's up?
I think my favorite kill is still going to be the arrow through Kevin Bacon's neck. Like that one
Okay,
was really, it was really well done. I think you get a pretty you get a decent machete kill in the first one in the shower,
the
uh,
hatchet. Yeah,
the
so
hatchet.
I the hatchet kill in the shower in the first one is my favorite of the first one.
So yeah, so you get like it seems like right there it's like you got two banger kills,
I
and
know.
I don't know. I feel like the first one did just kind of do it better overall in the kill department.
It did.
He still had some pretty good ones.
So with all that being said, I mean, this movie works for me on a couple different levels. It has a better story. Uh, it doesn't really flesh out the whole world of it yet, but you at least get to see a little bit more. Again, with the wheelchair kill being my favorite part of the two movies right now, and actually getting to see Jason on screen, who I think Pamela Voorhees was a better villain, maybe, just because she got her big aha moment at the end. But Jason is the more intimidating and on screen scarier villain. Uh, don't hate me. It's a four-star movie.
Ooh, okay.
I like for me it
Yeah.
is. I when I see it, I'm just like, hey man, I watched the first one. I like the first one just fine, but if I'm gonna go back and watch them, now we're starting to get into the real Friday the 13th that I like. There's a stretch. I won't tell you, my ratings on the next few, but for me, the franchise starts going up and up and up, and I love me some Friday the 13th. I love slashers.
All right. Yeah. For this one, I once again, there were some things that I liked about it. I also did like the extra story that we get about it. The You go more into the backstory with it, and I think they did do, like you were saying, a good job of doing the exposition dumps in a way that actually makes sense and doesn't
Yeah.
feel like an exposition
God.
dump.
Like all those stories at the beginning that are like, oh, you know how you've been a retired cop for 18 years? Like,
Like,
oh, dude.
yeah, they can. You can there are worse ways to shoehorn in a little bit of exposition. But the
Absolutely.
campfire story, it's perfectly on theme. It works well. It makes sense. So I thought they did a good job of that. And yeah, getting to see Jason is definitely a really nice thing after the last movie where he's only kind of this weird apparition that you don't get to hear about or that you don't get to see as much. You
Right.
only hear legends of him. You kind of see him at the end in the boat, but that's only
But
that's
was
only a
it
little bit.
real? Who knows?
I mean, at this point, I'm thinking probably. I feel like there's something in that lake.
He grew a
Um,
lot in 5 years.
he really did. Hit the gym, got his protein up. Maybe he was eating other random dogs out there in the
What's your
forest.
rating? What's your rating
My
for this
rating,
wonderful movie?
I'm gonna go with 2.5. I would
Ah,
have for a slasher film, I would have liked a few more slashes.
so you like the first one over this one then?
I think, yeah, I think I might. It's
Is it, would
I don't
you
know. There's
consider,
different elements that make it that I like about each one. I would say it's
okay,
like I'm more drawn into the story element of this one, but if we're going with a slasher movie, it's like I think I'm gonna kind of prefer the first one, and it does a
okay.
good enough job on story. You get the nice little twist ending, and
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
so
I respect it. I mean, nothing wrong with that. As we get further into the franchise, I think from here that's good. There's a lot of places for you to go up for it for sure. For me, it's an ebb and flow. I get some that I'm more akin to rewatching. Part two is not actually one that I rewatch a ton, because I just like other versions of Jason, and then what I come to Friday the 13th for, like I said in the previous Friday the 13th review, uh, just shines brighter in different ones. But definitely as like a story board movie, much better.
Yeah.
So we had a little. Usually we do like two or even one time we did three reviews per episode. We had a little kerfuffle today,
Little snafu.
a little snafu. Who snafu'd the foo?
Think I may have snaffed the foo. Okay, here's what happened.
Yeah, tell us.
Well, we were gonna review the movie Heretic.
2024 movie Heretic with Hugh Grant.
Yes, the
Yes,
2024
a wonderful
Hugh
movie.
Grant horror movie Heretic. I ended up watching a 2021 movie by the same name that was very different,
Did
apparently.
did it have Hugh Grant?
I don't think it had Hugh Grant
Okay,
in it,
okay, all
now that
right,
I'm
yeah.
thinking about it.
Uh,
So I ended up spending an hour and a half watching a horror movie that I didn't actually have to watch. So we're gonna
We've got
bank
him.
that one.
We
We're
got
gonna
him,
bank
folks.
that one.
He's a horror movie
And
fan. He watched one on
here's
his
the
own
thing,
accord. You've heard
it
it here
doesn't
first.
help that there's like half a dozen movies named Heretic that are
There
all horror
are.
movies.
There's The
Okay?
Heretic. There's Heretic. Yeah, I get it.
There's
I get it.
Heretics. It's like trying to find the right Alien movie or Alien versus
So,
who
at
knows?
there was a movie that I mentioned briefly called Barbarian, and when it first came out, I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch it on VOD. I think it came out during COVID. So I was like, okay, and I went on Prime and I looked up Barbarian, and the first one that popped up was Barbarians, who, if you're a Game of Thrones fan, started Ramsay, the guy who plays Ramsay. And I watched that and I was like, it's like a home invasion type of horror movie. Not really a horror movie, a thriller. And at the end of it, I was like, "What?" I mean, everybody said that like I should go in blind and that this movie was going to be body horror and Justin Long was going to be in it, and unless he was one of the masked perpetrators and I missed it,
I didn't see Justin Long once.
what the fuck did I watch? So
Yeah,
yeah, I
so
I've been there.
instead we thought quick on our feet, and we have decided to introduce a new segment now that we have officially made it through 12 horror movies,
Yeah.
since we had the three horror movies on the first one. We're going to do a little bracket. We're going to do the Tournament of Terror for you lovely
Mm,
folks out here. And we have
turn.
seeded all of these movies based on our previous rankings, kind of a conglomerate. We have
Yep.
different tiebreakers. It's unimportant at this level, but we have decided that every dozen movies we're gonna do a little tournament of terror, and then once we have a few champions, we'll have a master tournament and go through that. Maybe do a March Madness style thing during that season. So let's go through our seeds. At the 12 seed, we have Street Trash 1987. No surprise there that it is our 12 seed. The 11th seed, we have Killer Clowns from Outer Space, mainly being dragged down by my ranking on
Huge
that one.
disappointment.
10 seed is Street Trash 24. At the 9 seed, we have Evil Dead 2. The 8 seed and the 7 seed, the Friday the 13th Part 2 is at the 8. 7 seed is the original. Number 6, we have Evil Dead 1983. 5 seed is Rats, which that is one that I don't
Motherfucking
understand how it got.
Flophouse.
I mean,
Thank you,
I guess
Flophouse.
Flophouse gets that one up a little bit higher in the seating. 4 seed is Halloween. Number 3 seed is Weapon. Number 2 seed, American Werewolf in London. That's like the Illinois Sweetheart team right there. And then the number 1 seed, Midsummer.
Hmm.
So let's get this tournament started.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Easy thing would be to start off with the 1 seed versus the 12 seed. But let's go ahead and start off with the 6 and the 7 seed matchup, which is going to be Friday the 13th, the OG, versus Evil Dead 1983. Brett, what are your thoughts on this matchup?
I'm taking Friday the 13th OG. I
You
would
know what?
rather watch that than Evil Dead.
That's what I'm taking as well.
Okay,
So,
cool. Easy.
in
Easy
our
win.
victory, the 6 versus 7, we have Friday the 13th coming out with the victory. Awesome. Next up, we're going to have the 5 seed Rats coming up against the 8 seed Friday the 13th, part 2.
Motherfucking Flophouse. Rats,
Motherfucking
dude.
Flophouse. You're going with Rats?
Yes.
I mean, here's the thing. This is where I'm gonna vote and say I think Friday the 13th would
Rats.
win out in this battle.
I look, Friday the 13th part 2 is so much fun. Rats is the most fun on this list by far. And it's got a little different flavor than the rest of these movies. Look, here's what's going to happen. Rats is going to come in out of nowhere and surprise us all. We all belong to rats. Okay? This is not a very good argument, but just go
It's
with me
really
here.
not. Okay. All right. You know what? I'll give this one to you.
Okay. All right.
We'll go with Rats. So the 5 seed takes that one. No
Hell yeah.
upset
No
in
upset.
this second matchup. Next up, we're gonna have the 4 versus the 9. This is gonna bring the OG Halloween into a matchup with Evil Dead Part 2.
I'm gonna go Halloween over Evil Dead Part 2.
I'm saying Evil
And
Dead Part 2. That would be
here's
where.
here's why.
Okay, make your case.
Okay. Evil Dead Part 2 confused me a little bit on the retcon.
Okay.
It doesn't have as much tension as Halloween. The like constant battle with like the hand and then some of the I feel like we're running in circles in some of that movie. It kind of off puts me a little. I get not like I said in my review, not really boredom, but teetering. At least in Halloween, we're not looking at the same scenes over and over again, and there's a lot more rich story, I think. Well,
I mean,
that's debatable.
they like you get so much great backstory. There was an archaeological expedition. This demon has come from across the seas and been awakened in this forest
Uh,
over here. You get
mm,
so many more great practical effects. You get way
you
better
do.
kills. You get gallons and rivers of blood
That's
gushing up
true.
from the
I do like
thing.
that.
You get demonic possession. You get demonic possession reversal and then re-reversal demonic possession. you get you get a little bit of a love triangle where
Yeah.
you have Ash come in and immediately kill Annie's boyfriend to get him out of the way. Granted, he was a demon at that time,
Yeah.
but
But you also
I'm
have to watch that stop motion
okay.
stuff.
Granted, but in
Okay.
Halloween, you have to watch that just
That's true. It's
continuous slow POV shots.
okay. Look, because you gave me rats. This is it feels gross to let Halloween lose to Evil Dead Part 2 or Evil
you
Dead 2. It feels disgusting. Feels like I'm sacrificing a child that I shouldn't be.
You know what? In the future, when we have subscribers, maybe we can set a poll up
I
where we'll have
guarantee you Halloween's
people
gonna
vote.
crush that poll.
I mean, Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay. For the sake of you giving me rats, I will give you Evil Dead 2.
let's go.
Motherfucking
Suck it, John
Flophouse.
Carpenter.
Oh my God. He just got a vendetta.
All right. Next up, we have our 3 seed weapons coming up against the 10 seed Street Trash 2024. This one, oh my gosh, I just checked the
Uh,
score and it was a blowout. Wow.
yeah.
30-point blowout.
Even on the
That's,
rewatchability, I recommended Street Trash. I think I gave it a pretty high score. I'm still gonna go with Weapons on this one. I just think Weapons is better in every way. Street Trash
yeah.
is more fun, but Weapons is better. Just more, it's just better. Mo better.
Yeah. So we're going with weapons easily on that one. The 3 seed is going to take it. Next up, though, this one, this is where the seeding kind of comes in and might bite you. We
Yeah.
have the number 2 seed American Werewolf in London coming up against the number 11 seed Dark Horse Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Dude,
Brett, where you landing on this one?
I think I got Killer Clowns. Reason being is it's something that's just a little bit more fun to get through. Like if you're pitting these up and you're like, hey, you have to watch one of these every day for the next week. I'm gonna probably enjoy watching Killer Clowns from Outer Space more than I'm gonna enjoy watching American Werewolf in London. Even though American Werewolf in London is a much better movie than Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I prefer American Werewolf in London. I'm telling you right now, if you made me watch each one for 7 days straight, I would watch Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
I think that I might also
Oh, the
give
man with
Killer
no
Clowns the
love
nod
for Killer
here.
Clowns.
I
You have to
I think it
explain
might be.
why.
So here's the thing, like
Because
both
what'd you
of these
give Killer
movies,
Clowns? You gave it,
Killer Clowns, I gave it like a 2. It
I
was
thought you gave it a 1.5.
or 1.5. It might have been 1.5. It was rough.
It was,
But here's the thing. Acting in Werewolf is not that great. Um, and both of these movies are just kind of meant to be silly and ridiculous.
sure.
So if we're gonna be silly and ridiculous, then this you get at least think a little bit more comic relief. Uh, Even though it's not crazy funny stuff, you don't have to pay attention as much. So
Okay.
I think we're gonna give it to Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
But
That,
you prefer the movie American Werewolf in London though.
yeah, like I think it's a
Yeah,
better movie
absolutely.
overall.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay,
So I
awesome.
think I'm right
We
there
got
with you.
another
Our
upset.
first major upset,
Major
an
upset.
11 seed taking down a 2. That's kind of
Mm,
crazy.
it is crazy.
And then finally, probably won't be much discussion here. Midsummer versus Street Trash 1987. The
Wait,
one,
how much time do I have to watch how much time do I have to watch a movie? That's the only way you're gonna get me. Midsummer, I would rather watch. But I look, we kind of crapped on Street Trash 87. Street Trash 87 is not the worst movie I've ever seen. It is far and away from the worst movie I've ever seen. Comparatively speaking to Midsummer, though, it is the worst movie on this list,
yeah.
and I don't think I could do that to Midsummer. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna
no,
let
and here's the
Midsummer
thing,
ride.
yes. Midsummer is a long movie to get through.
Yeah.
But honestly, I would rather watch Midsummer in thirds and watch 1/3 of it than watch Street Trash. It's like we'll break that up. That's 3 days worth of movies. It's like when you get a foot long sub and you're like, "Ooh, hey, I got dinner too."
Okay, yeah, okay. Not bad.
All right, so we have our first round of the tournament complete.
Who all moved
Uh,
on?
so our champions that moved on from the first round, we have the 7th seed Friday the 13th. We have Rats at the 5 seed, Evil Dead Part 2 at the 9 seed, Weapons at the 3, Killer Clowns at the 11, and Midsummer are 1 seed hanging on for the next round. That right there is going to put Midsummer right up against Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Oh, that's how you're doing it? Um,
We're just seeing it highest to lowest. See what the
oh,
matchups
see,
are. You never
I don't
know when
know
an
that
upset's
that
gonna come.
works though, because because if our second seed would have won, you don't want the first and second seed to go against each other
Well, the first, it's always the highest seed versus the lowest seed.
at the beginning.
I mean, that's how they do it in
Because the way a
NFL.
bracket looks is number one,
Well, I mean,
number
you have some
two.
brackets that like don't reseed,
Oh,
but
okay.
like the NFL, like
Look,
NFL
I'm just
playoffs.
trying to talk my way out of doing this.
Okay.
Killer Clowns
I
from Outer
mean,
Space over Midsummer.
you're taking Killer Clowns over Midsummer.
Here's
Oh,
why.
we might have
It,
to coin flip this one.
because uh almost in retrospect to what I was saying to Street Trash 87, Midsummer's a much better movie than Killer Clowns. It is the same exact argument as we did Killer Clowns up against American Werewolf in London. I don't know that for 7 days straight I would sit and watch a 3 hour movie, but I know that I could withstand watching Killer Clowns from Outer Space, at least in the forefront or in the background, 7 days straight. I think it's a slog to get through that. Or what if you said you had to watch it once a month and you're like, dang, I gotta put out a time split of 3 hours right now so I can watch this movie. And
Yeah,
it's just more like it's more casual viewing. I feel like with Midsummer, you're gonna get way better, obviously, you're gonna get way better shots, you're gonna get better story, you got better acting. I think even the gore was probably it was better in Midsummer. Everything about the movie is better than Killer Clowns, but it doesn't have the same kind of. If you're telling me I've got to rewatch it a whole bunch, Killer Clowns.
what you're saying is they might beat us 99 times, but that one time.
That's right. On one metric, Killer Clowns beats Midsummer, and that's on straight rewatchability. Like it just is. What
Not
say you?
sure. Not sure if because once if I had to watch those
Okay.
movies every day of the week,
Yeah.
I would take a popcorn gun to the face. Okay,
Oh my
like
God.
we're not we are not. Yeah,
Okay.
that is not going to work out. Um, you know what? Just because I like an upset, I think
Okay.
I
Hell
think we'll
yeah.
give it to you
Hell
on
yeah.
this one. So we'll have the 11 seed Killer Clowns move on out of that crazy matchup. Our next matchup is going to be the 9 seed Evil Dead Part 2 versus the 3 seed Weapon.
Weapons.
Thinking Weapons, I
Yeah.
surprisingly am also thinking Weapons. That's one that that one's not crazy long. It's not like a
Yeah.
Midsummer where
It's a little,
you
is
have
it over
to.
2 hours? It's over a little over
I
two
think it
hours?
might
Or a
I
little
think it
under?
creeps up close to 2 hours. I don't think it goes
Okay.
over it. But if it did, I don't know. The pacing in that one is
It's
done
good.
really well.
Very good.
So it's not one where you feel like it's dragging along and you feel like it's longer
Mm-mm.
than it is. It's like I felt like Street Trash was longer than
Oh my
most of these
goodness.
movies. So
Yeah.
I I think we're good with Weapons taking our 3 versus 9 seed uh challenge down. All right, next up we are going to have the 7 seed uh versus the 5 seed to finish off this part of the bracket. So we got Friday the 13th, the OG coming up against Rats?
Rats.
You're gonna go Rats?
Yeah.
I also think that Rats is probably the way to go
Motherfucking
on this one.
Flophouse.
Um, Flophouse is it, if nothing else, uh, entertaining.
That's
So
right.
in our 7 versus 5, we have Rats moving on. That means that we have the 11 seed. Uh, we have the 3 seed, and we have the 5 seed,
It's not a
all
bad spread.
moving on.
Not a bad
Not
spread.
bad at all. So now we're gonna have to introduce like a bye week to this because we have an odd number of movies left. So
Highest
I
seed gets the
think
bye.
Weapons is going to get the bye into the championship rounds. That is going to place the Killer Clowns from Outer Space right up against Rats. And dear God, this 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 sweetheart
Rats,
tale
dude.
has to come to an end now for
It's
Killer
rats,
Clowns from
dude.
Outer Space.
I'm taking rats over killer clowns. I love killer clowns from outer
It's
space. Obviously, I've been championing it the entire time. I look, rats, that movie, it was made for me. Uh so many interesting characters. Killer Clowns is not half as interesting as Rats is. Uh the only I mean even the kills and there's less, but even the kills and uh
oh yeah, you
Rats.
actually get yeah, because you actually get like gore and blood and all
Mhm.
the all the extra stuff. You don't
Yeah.
just get cotton candy and popcorn,
I'm telling you, you
everything like
make
that.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space a rated R movie, we might have a different looking bracket.
It would it could be different. I might
Mhm.
even change my opinion on it a little bit.
That's what I'm saying.
But
Yeah.
we're gonna have Rats moving on in the
Yeah.
final showdown versus Weapons.
Do you remember what I said at the beginning of this thing when Rats had
I,
its first win? It's
yeah,
all come into plan.
no, no. I'm
Who's
gonna
Rats
say
up
this one.
against? Who's
Rats is
Rats
up
up
against
against
Weapons.
in the
Rats
championship?
Rats loses to Weapons. Okay,
No, dude.
Rats beat Clown. It's like rock paper scissors, but with fucked up horror movies, man.
Witches can't even beat rats. Isn't that like their one thing?
What?
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure they use their like tails or some shit in their
I don't know,
brews.
man. I'm
It's like
grasping
a
at straws
rat's
here.
tail.
Hold on, though. Hold
Okay.
on. Weapons. Obviously the better movie. Rats is just so much more entertaining. It's there. It's got the comedy aspect.
Is it
It
though?
has horrific scenes in it, not nearly as horrific as Weapons. I think the whole subject matter of Weapons is dark. Uh, sometimes I don't want to watch a dark movie, man. And the best part about Rats is there's dark stuff
It's a
in it.
horror. You picked the horror genre. You're like, oh, sometimes I don't want to watch a dark movie. That's me.
Hey,
What do you want? Do you not want to get scared? Like, what's going on, man?
no, it's not about that. It's that like depending on my mood, I might reach for that's why I would reach for Killer Clowns over Midsummer. I might just be like, man, I don't want to watch that today. I want to watch something light. And I think at most days, like I watch all of these crazy movies and I watch all these slashers and I watch all these paranormal movies and then I sit down and I'm like, man, I'm kind of burned out a little bit. What am I gonna watch today? Either maybe Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, maybe
Fantastic
Rats.
film.
I'm telling you,
Hmm.
like it's one of those things where I could see myself reaching for it more than Weapons. Not to say that Weapons I mean, we gave Weapons its flowers. Weapons is a higher rated film. Absolutely. But as far as like reaching for a film on a even monthly basis, I would absolutely pick Rats. And more often than not, I'm going to be in the mood to watch Rats. I'm not going to be in the mood to watch a child abduction movie. I'm going to be in the
Well, I
mood to
mean, yeah,
watch.
because like
Yeah, it
Rats
is.
is just like an ADHD slop fest
Yeah.
of
of the best
Not much
things.
happening,
And
but everything
for
happening.
but for us, especially, it's that time that we were in high school during that time. Like it's got nostalgia written all over it. The way it looks, I mean, it's kind of got that because I haven't lived in Texas for a decade. It's got that it's got everything about it. Everything about it I like. I think Rats is a fantastic little movie, an independent film that doesn't get near the uh, credit it deserves. Absolutely. Not enough people have even seen the movie. It's travesty, really.
All right. You know what? I guess we can give our first Tournament of Terror championship.
Dude, it feels so good.
I'm just look, at least it's rats and not the Rat King, so I can at least take a little bit of solace in that.
Neither version of the Rat King.
But hey, look at that. The 5 seed Rats coming in to gain our first inaugural Tournament of Terror championship. I don't know if we're gonna have a belt or some kind of traveling trophy or
Maybe,
what we're gonna
maybe.
do. Once again, this is a work in progress. You guys got to see us make this up on the fly. Do you think that we not a whole lot of planning went into that, as you could probably
No.
tell. But I think it went off pretty well.
Yeah, that
So,
wasn't too bad. I am surprised. I actually didn't think Rats was gonna make it because if it got put up, there were certain movies that if it got put up against, I was like, well, maybe I can't actually do that. But it fell into that one. It
but
did
hey
hurt.
man, that's why the seeding kind of it makes a difference. You never know who you're going to match up with uh, when it comes down to tournament time.
I think Rats would have lost to Midsummer.
Yeah,
Even though like I said all that stuff about weapons, which is positively true, and Midsummer's dark too, it's not dark in the same way. And
right.
I think that I absolutely would have been like, I don't know, maybe I gotta do
Maybe.
it.
But
Yeah.
once again, you watch first half, second half, you can find a way to break it up.
But
Get
hey,
little bite-sized chunks.
in the great words of Flophouse, I love selling crack. This has been Horror and the Hater. We'll catch you later.